The ugly truth about the Super Bowl. The big game brings a spike in human trafficking. During Super Bowl 53, the FBI reported nearly 200 human trafficking related arrests in Atlanta, and officials here in South Florida are bracing for the same.
Yeah, this year there is an emphasis on the hotel industry and the role hospitality workers can play in stopping human trafficking. CBS 12 News reporter Danielle Wall has one victim's disturbing story.
The trafficking survivor we spoke with says hotel staff looked the other way when she was being sold for sex. And if one single person had spoken up, she might have been spared years of brutal abuse. She did her best to tell her story unemotionally, but the fear she still feels is easy to see.
Before I started kindergarten, I was always told that you don't talk about what happens at home.
Growing up, nearly every adult in Savannah Parview's life let her down.
But I didn't really know that it wasn't normal because I didn't really have friends. I didn't hang out with anybody. So I didn't really know what a normal child's life was like.
She says her mother was addicted to drugs and turned to prostitution to support her habit. When Savannah was 11 years old, her mother traded her for $10 worth of crack, and her drug dealer became Savannah's sex trafficker.
It became to where they would make arrangements with her where they would come and pick me up, or they would be at the bus stop when I got home from school. And it was like I never knew when I was going home, how long I would be there.
She says she was taken to hotels all over Orlando several times each week.
I would stare at like a spot on the wall and focus on that. And so it was kind of like it wasn't happening to me, like emotionally.
Looking back, she says there's no way hotel staff didn't know what was going on.
They knew what was happening.
How do you know that they knew?
Because my trafficker would make arrangements with the hotel staff to let people in and out of the room so that he didn't have to stay there.
So hotel workers would physically see you?
Yeah.
A child?
Yeah.
And they were letting men into the room?
Yep.
There's been a long policy of see nothing, say nothing in hotels.
Mike Morgan represents more than 500 victims of human trafficking. His firm is suing major hotel chains across the country because, according to New York University research, 90% of child sex trafficking occurs in hotels. Lawsuits against hotels in 12 states, including Florida, argue the industry knew or should have known about the abuse happening behind their doors, and their failure to take action allowed the abuse to spread. Worse, the lawsuits allege they were profiting from it. Quote, hotels have chosen to ignore the open and obvious presence of sex trafficking on their properties, enjoying the profit from rooms rented for this explicit and apparent purpose.
They put vacancy over decency. Right? That their number one job in hotels has always been to fill rooms. And really they haven't cared enough in the past to care who was in it or who was paying for or who was, possibly being victimized.
The industry has accepted we play a pivotal role in stopping human trafficking, so let's do this because it's the right thing.
Chip Rogers is the head of the American Hotel and Lodging Association, which hosted a No Room for Trafficking summit at the Fontainebleau in Miami Beach ahead of Super Bowl 54.
We know we can do better.
Hotel owners, law enforcement, and the Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody were all there to compare notes on what can be done to stop these crimes. How well trained do you think Florida's hospitality industry is right now? How much work needs to be done?
Hotels and these organizations have already been training their employees. They understand this is a sore in Florida. We have to address it.
Their goal is for every hotel worker to be able to spot the signs of human trafficking, like rooms that are paid for in cash, have multiple visitors, but don't allow housekeeping into the room.
Traffickers are going to realize, hey, the last place I want to go is a hotel because the folks there can look out for the signs, see me, and report me.
Help us.
Right now, this training is optional, but starting next year here in Florida, it will be the law. Looking back is not easy.
No.
For Savannah, it's welcome news that could change other young girls' lives.
I feel like if they had stepped in when I was 11 or 12 being trafficked, it wouldn't have continued as long as it had.
Savannah left home during high school to escape the abuse. Today, she is a member of the Florida Alliance to End Human Trafficking, appointed by the Attorney General to help develop training for hotel workers. But as the CBS 12 News I-team found out, there is still a long way to go. Are you selling sex in here?
No.
Are you being forced to do this?
No.
Are you being held here against your own will? Hotels right here in Palm Beach County are part of the problem. So why isn't more being done to stop it? We get answers tomorrow night at 11. Danielle Waugh, CBS 12 News.
I watched Savannah's interview. It is both shocking and eye-opening, and a crime that could affect a little girl or young woman you care about. We've posted Savannah's full, unedited interview on our website. Her story is so powerful, you will watch all 17 minutes.